you, love you.
What's up, Mo?
Ooh, Sylvia, this background is cute.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, man.
No, I don't.
Mo, did you want to introduce yourself?
Hang on.
Oh, he can't hear us. I think he has it so that we can hear him, but he can't hear us.
Oh, yep.
That's what it was.
Oh, here. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect.
There we go. Sorry. I was trying to figure out how to do it, but that's not going to work. What's up, guys?
Hey.
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 I am DJ Famous, if you didn't know. I've been working with these guys for a while now. Sorry, it's so sleepy. I haven't had my coffee yet, but happy to be a part of this, and I really want to see what you guys come up with today.
Yeah. Thanks, Mo. I think we've actually maybe been working together for like 4 years.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's been both of you and Michelle. I think it's been about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, that's lit.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Sylvia Wolf, and you all have found yourselves at the Art Parlour May Showcase. So I will give my co-founders like a second to introduce themselves, but just to tell you a little bit about what you all have gotten yourselves into today, we put this together basically as a culmination of all the artists that we have celebrated and interviewed and interacted with off of our Instagram gallery this month. Well, I guess it wasn't this month because it's the 2nd of May, so it was last month in April.
They all running together anymore.
I know, they're all running together, and April was weirdly fast after March felt like it was like 4 years long too, which was just bizarre. But I will quickly pass the mic over to Abby and Tony and Michelle, and then we will take a moment to introduce our wonderful performer today, Ms. Charlie Cash, straight from the CD. Hey, her lipstick looking fire, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'll pass the mic to Abby first so she can say what's up.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited because I've never, ever done this before. My name is Abby Legidao. I'm founder of Pixel Parlour. So I specialize in fashion, editorial, and headshots. And after this, I actually want to document all the artists here sometime in the future. So come see me when you're done. I want to tell your story.
Who do you want to pass the mic to, Abby? Tony or Michelle?
Tony was right after me. So go ahead, Tony.
Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Tony. Thank you guys for coming into our show. I'm a little by myself. I'm a graphic designer. We also work with Abby at Pixel Parlour, and I do the promotions here for Art Parlour. So if you guys have any questions or know of any artists that want to be a part of this, please let me know.
Thanks, Tony. All right, I guess it's my turn. So hey, I'm Michelle Mai. I am primarily a makeup artist, and I also work with Art Parlour doing artist creations. So I did kind of the background work and finding all of our wonderful artists and performers that are joining us today. So I'm super excited that you all get a chance to meet them and get to know them a little better and chat. So I'll pass the baton back to Sylvia now.
Awesome. Okay, so just to tell you guys a little bit about Charlie Cash, she's from Seattle, and I'll let you introduce yourself too, but I also am from Seattle, and Charlie has definitely become a close friend of mine. But before we were friends, I was a huge fan, and I'm still a fan because friends should be fans of each other. But before we had a close relationship, I was definitely front row at her concerts, like, what's up? I know all the words to your songs. I'm just this, like, creepy light-skinned girl over here. I know everything, haha, you know, just really enjoying myself. So all that to say, if you see me start to get really into it, it's because I'm actually really into it. And so, Charlie, I will pass the mic over to you. Feel free to take it away. And just so you all are aware, as the host, I'm going to put you all on mute in the next few minutes if you don't put yourself on mute while Charlie sings.
The regulator. We appreciate you. Yeah. What's up, y'all? Okay. This is my first Zoom call ever, so let's just put that out there. Hello, I'm Charlie Cash. I'm from the Central District, Seattle, Washington. Like Sylvia said, she's probably one of my biggest fans. Every time I see her in the front row, she's like, and I'm like, oh, hi, what's up? So I'm truly, truly happy that she asked me, her and Michelle asked me to do this. I'm just gonna get right into it, let's just see what's good with the music. I'm gonna start off on more of an excited note, because this is a party, y'all. And this is my first Zoom call, so we're celebrating that right now. All right, let's see. Tell me if you can hear that. Yeah? Hey. Look, challenge when I wake up, tested true. Voice gone weak, but I'm steady pushing through. Busting through. Fucking that smooth, proving move. I won't hit you, tipping ashes, pooping through. Can't parlay with you. I see towers, we on different levels, boo. I'm swinging on the blinds, you stuck on the power lines. I'ma pop off, you may be embarrassed soon. Cash and deposits and platforms ain't nothing new. Listen, moves, Charlie Cash, and yes, I'm Central District smooth. Keep a double C on me, Coco with the crew. Hennessy on me, my OG rolling smooth. Shout out Ruler, that's my crew. And your man too, he's out to all my food. In my sweat while I order in my booth. You see, I'm Central District smooth. Money is always a move. Don't need you like you assume. I'll take your parties as soon. So we gon' keep it poppin', lockin' like your girl do. She gon' lick her favorite flavor chocolate. Gotta get the dough. All about that paper, ladies. Let's get some more. Flexing on them haters so they know. Hey, let's get back to the flow. Gotta get the dough. No. Hey, let's get some more. So they know. Let's get back. Ooh, I just went that. I'm a real in gold digger to an all-star. We gon' spin the show, we down with my ruthless squad. I'm a poking crowd till that powder rest on my upper arm. A little note in the charm, manifesting what you want. Move smoother than smooth press out. Got my baby V cups out, I'm a full course. And look, this ain't no print out. I switch my flow, cause I stay so bored like your man in your mouth. I'm a hit it here, don't want your heart to give out. Just know that I'm the hunter, you the prey, you should move south. Cause after me, you gon' be on there and start with the bounce. You gon' be on there and start with the bounce. You gon' be on there and start with the bounce. You gon' be on there and stop with the bounce. Hey, gotta get the dough. No. Hey, let's get some more. So they know. Let's get back to the flow. Hey, gotta get that dough. No. Ladies, let's get some more. So they know. Let's get back. Woo! I'm sweating, you guys. I'm sweating.
Woo!
I'm lipstick all on my chin.
That was fire.
You're perfect, man. Come to LA.
Wow, it's so much more fun to perform in your house, low-key, because you're just like...
I love that. It's the best thing.
Thank you. I'm going to move myself now so I can breathe really hard.
You're gonna end up booking yourself a show in LA by the end of this show, Charlie.
Seriously, man. You're dope. Your energy is off the hook.
Thank you. I got to get this lipstick off my teeth.
So thank you. That I think is called Central District Smooth, right, Charlie?
You said what?
Is that called Central District Smooth? Is that what that song is called? That's what I always think it should be called. It's called what?
It's called Gold. I haven't picked an official name because it's not released yet, so.
Oh,
Ooh, so we got the gem.
So we got
We got some exclusive.
Yes. So Trew, I actually love that you had something to say about her song because you're actually our first artist for the little in-between song chat situation.
amazing. What should I say? Where should I start?
Feel free to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more about you. For those that didn't make it to your IG Live interview. Yeah, so give a little spiel.
So my name is Trew Love, and I'm a fan of Charlie Cash. I'm an artist and an activist here in LA, and just kind of figuring out whatever route God opens for me on my creative journey. It's led many different directions, as I'm sure you guys understand. You know, sometimes you think a door is going to stay open and then it closes, but then another one opens and you're like, well, okay, this is the new direction, but I'm here, I'm still living. So yeah, no complaints so far. But yeah, big news. I have an animated cartoon series that is in the early stages of being picked up by a major streaming network. So that's a really big deal.
Actually,
So,
she watched our interview, and she wanted me to tell you that she's very excited for the TV show. My mom. So you have my mom as a fan now.
oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Yeah, it's this show, like, you know, like I've always loved writing, but I never in my life would have thought that writing was going to be the creative avenue that took me you know, into those upper levels, you know. But I think that one of the lessons that I learned is just being open to, like I said, whatever path the universe opens up for you. Because I had a tour that was supposed to be going on with an exhibit that I developed, and coronavirus was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna definitely change your plans. So fortunately, you know, you always have to have multiple irons in the fire. And fortunately, one of the irons that I'd kept hot during the time period while I was building my other show ended up being the key to the new door that I'm opening through. So thank God.
Love it. All praise. That's lit. Well, thank you so much, Trew Love. And y'all, you can go over to our Instagram page if you want to get her information. We have all the information for all the artists that'll be introducing themselves right on there. So you can follow all of them, please. All right, Ms. Charlie Cash, you ready for number 2? All right.
Yes, I'm ready.
Before we move on.
Okay, so.
Oh,
Oh.
wait, Michelle, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say if anyone has any questions before we move on, for Trew
Oh,
or
yeah.
let's
I forgot about the interactive part.
Yeah, feel free to either hop on the mic or drop a question in the chat.
Happy to answer anything.
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
Could you explain to us like what your creative process is like? How do you come up with ideas? Because I know that that is very specific to each artist.
Absolutely. I'm a huge activist, so most of my inspiration comes from current events. So I would say news, and turning real news stories into the storylines of characters. Because like, so one of the ideas that I have with the show is, you know, a lot of people don't really seek out information that they're not otherwise just easily exposed to. So, you know, themes of oppression, themes of the stories of kids in cages, stuff like that. And I figured that if I can take these really heavy storylines and weave them into an animated cartoon character, then maybe we can get people to empathize with them without judging them first. So that, at least for this show, and my sugar-coated exhibit as well, has been really finding new ways to bring truth to the masses, because in my opinion, you know, you can't care if you don't know. So if I can use art to educate, then I feel that I'm, you know, doing the best that I can while I'm here on this confused planet.
That's fire. Thank you so much, Trew.
For sure.
That's fire. I like that.
Any other questions?
I think I got a question, Trew. Hi, how's it going? I'm Pierre.
Hi.
My question was how hard was it to basically get your idea out there and basically getting in the front of the right person and having it picked up? Do you feel like you made it for yourself first, and was it like fully formed, or did somebody just like propose you to like help you in the creative process and, you know, and then put it out there?
That's a great question. So I started my sugar-coated exhibit, which was a venture that I started just on myself with no experience. And I was like, I have this idea. I'm going to figure out how to make it a reality. And I was posting about that. And I think the traction that I gained from doing my own project is what attracted the person that brought me Rhyme and Reason. So he found me through Instagram because he was looking for an artist, and I was really active at that time. And I think because I had my own momentum, he was drawn into that energy, and he brought me this project, and we started developing it together. So I think that it's a really good example of, you know, really stepping out and just creating that movement. And then as you're moving, people see you, because the only time people don't see you is if you're still, if you're not doing things.
Right. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the question.
All right, one last question for Trew Love before we move on to Charlie's song. What do we got? Okay, I'll ask you a question. What's your favorite piece that you've ever done?
Ooh. It's kind of that's a toss-up. I think that the Nipsey Snoop piece that I did was definitely the highest quality work that I've ever done, and that piece, yeah. And that one also, I really pushed my ability to a level that I'd never really pushed it to, and for that reason, you know, I really expanded my boundaries and formulating a new confidence in doing portraits that I didn't trust myself until that piece. So I feel like that was the piece that I really took myself to the next level.
Cool, that's awesome. All right, 3 cheers for Trew Love. Thank you. You can give her some silent cheers since y'all are on mute. All right, Charlie Cash, the mic is yours.
All right, so for this next song, super dope, by the way. Good to meet you and to hear some background. I honestly love hearing about new artists, just meeting new artists, experiencing new artists, hearing their background stories and stuff like that. So I appreciate you sharing. That was really dope.
I'm gonna follow you together.
I'm gonna check out that Nipsey piece also because I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. So this next song is a little slower. This is actually my best friend's favorite song, so I just decided to sing it for y'all. Let me get this turned up.
You have expectations. You said to me you think I wanna meet them. What's the reason? You call and text but can't see me, and please believe me, I'm a rare breed, baby. If you add into my time, it's all breathing. Stacking hours in and right daily. What's your plan, eh? Cause you know I still want you here like that. Need you here like that. Are you real like that? Can't afford to spend more time on you. When the payoff leaves, my heart breaks too. You know we could ease all this pressure. Just tell me why. You know you still play, you don't want me. Just tell me why. Baby, you're taking me far. Off the course, distracted no more. You're the one to pay for my heart. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Baby, you're taking me far. Off the course, distracted no more. You're the one to pay for my heart. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Baby, you're taking me far. Off the course, distracted no more. You're the one to pay for my heart. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Baby, you're taking me far. No more. Pay for my heart. The mind's running fast to your empty home. Baby, why don't you take it slow? Pick me up to move on. Bet you planned it from the jump. We won't be to say what's up. No, he's sleepy. I don't love you. I do different. Won't admit it. Ask me when I'm lifted. Hit him with you the ticket. Oh, ride with the cotton candy finish. Maybe a girl, but I love you to the game. Not your ends. Can't just a triple five for my wins. So careful, me, cruising while you work while I win. I my friends. Oh, you know we could ease all this pressure. Just tell me why. You know you still play, you don't want me. Just tell me why. Baby, you're taking me for off the course, distracted no more. You're the one to pay for my heart. Baby, you're taking me my heart.
was good.
Off the course, distracted no more. You're the one who paid for my heart. Run it up, run it up, run it up, baby. You're taking me far. Off the course, distracted no more. Run it up, you taking me so
Woo!
Whoop, whoop.
It's so funny seeing you guys little icons like.
It's
I
like a
love
whole new
that.
take on the audience.
You said what?
It's like a whole new take on the audience.
It is. I'm like, it's like a different group. Oh, it's like a different group almost.
That's awesome.
That's so funny. My BT dubs, they're probably not gonna want me to say this, but my parents are in the next. They're in the next room, peeping in on the art party. So everyone say hi to my parents.
Hi.
They said hi.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for giving birth to her.
Yeah, right. Blessing to humanity.
Yeah. Okay, so our next artist that I wanted to give the mic over to is actually Pierre Roset. Pierre, how are you today?
Hey, how's it going?
Bien,
Sorry, my
ça
mic
va.
was on mute, so I had a little delay while I unmuted myself.
That's okay.
Hey, I'm really good. How's everyone?
Good.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I like you know, I like how everything is set up. So yeah, I'm a cartoonist and illustrator from Tacoma. I'm actually from France, but I've been living in the US since 6 years, and I'm based in Tacoma. And Michelle found me on Instagram. I think it was Michelle. I'm pretty sure it was Michelle. Yeah, she found me on Instagram and you know, invited me. So I'm really honored to be here and you know, sharing, you know, art stuff and displaying what we're doing, and it's really cool. There's a great energy going on.
Glad you're here, Pierre. Thank you.
Yeah. So so I'm a comic artist. I am currently actually learning how to write, which is not actually something that I'm usually doing. So that was interesting to hear Trew saying that, you know, she loved writing, because I'm more of an artist, and because I like doing my own comic, I'm switching from illustrating pieces to actually writing a comic. So it's a really, you know, it's a learning curve. And yeah, right now, I mean, I was just like working on the little thing right now, just for right now, like since we're starting.
That's so cute.
Yeah, thanks. So I mean, I can show you a little better. I was just doing that like while we were all like chatting and stuff, and you know, I like comics from you know, from the US, from Europe, from Japan, and I kind of mix all these influence, and I like using little tools like these and paintbrushes and stuff to make weird textures, and I just like having fun with you know, when I have a piece, just having some weird chaotic textures going on and figure out how to make it work. So yeah, I have you know, I have some pieces that I've done in the past that, you know, everybody can see, you know. So I use like printmaking techniques mixed with kind of regular like drawing stuff. I have a little press over there where I just kind of crank it, and it creates all these like textures. So yeah, it's super fun to me. That's a project I've really liked that I've done last year, which is like a series of like dogs from mythology. And it was a really fun thing because it was really personal to me, because I kept seeing these things in my dream and whatever. So it's like, okay, I gotta make something out of it, right? So I ended up making this whole series, and I was able to keep it cohesive. So yeah, that's probably my favorite like project. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, I think you know, yeah, I think Art Parlour accounts like shared that picture, which, you know, I like it a lot as well. And so yeah, I'm kind of mixing, you know, like kind of like regular comic inking techniques with like really weird textures and stuff. It's kind of really like the kind of stuff I like to do. And yeah, so I'm just, you know, I'm still, you know, trying to find new avenues to work, and opportunities. And lately, I've really been into writing. Probably thinking about doing a Kickstarter sometime to launch my, my next comic. So yeah, if anybody has question, I'll be happy to hear. And I'm just, doodling away my my little art I've been doing since before.
Okay, question from me, Brianne.
Yeah.
So what started like your comic? Like, what was the reason for you to go towards comics out of all like artistry? Was it like a certain comic that like got you into it all, or was there like something that started it?
I think it's because the reason is I've been reading comics since I was a kid, and it was basically the reason I started drawing. And I was actually making comics quite a bit when I was in high school. And to me, it was not even art. Like I didn't consider it as art. To me, it was just making comics. It was just like that thing. And then I took some time away from it. I mean, I played music. I was studying stuff in France. And when I came back to art, I came back not through comics, but through making actual art. Like, I mean, art as far as making a single piece with illustration. And I entered a little bit the contemporary illustration stuff with all that. And I was not thinking about making comics anymore because I was like, I don't know how to write. It's like not something I know how to do. I have nothing interesting to say. I just want to make cool images. So then it became art. And after a few years, I kind of realized, oh, comics was really the thing that started it. And I'm like, if I really want to have the career I want, have the direction that would make me happy, it would be to make comics, like making an actual dynamic story. And so it was kind of like going back to my roots in a way and using all the techniques I learned from making art and illustration. So it's like full circle.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome, yo.
Yeah, but that's a good question because I think often when you're making art, if you're kind of stuck somewhere, it's always interesting to figure out what was the very first contact you had and what got you excited in the first place, and give it a shot. Like, is it something you can do? Like, doing your first love in art.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. What was your first comic that you can think of that you ever bought?
Well, because I'm French, it was probably Asterix. I mean, I know it's famous in other places in the world, but in France, it's really like the thing. And so I was probably a little kid, and actually, my dad had like these amazing, Asterix covers from the 70s that are all like leather bound and stuff. So that was probably that. Yeah. And then probably Dragon Ball, like, I don't know, a couple of years later. But yeah, it was definitely these. Yeah, eventually I discovered a whole world of different things.
That's cool. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Dope. Well,
Okay,
I have you, Pierre.
question. Oh, sorry. Oh.
Wait, you want to go first, Sylvia?
I was just gonna say one more question for Pierre.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I know that you mentioned in prior that you've also done like album cover art for musicians. Can you tell us a little bit more about that too?
Yeah. So I was I was a lot into music when I was in France, like into like the rock and like punk and stuff community when I was in Paris, and so I made a lot of friends, and I did made one cover for one of my old friends a while ago. They just came to me and I put up something. It wasn't that great. It was kind of like my first one, and recently these same friends like came. They actually asked me to do a cover for their the record of their new band. So I made they have like a theme of like Godzilla monsters and things like that, and I've actually done this piece for them. And so actually I made this piece and I scanned it and I like did some typo and stuff, and now they're putting it out on the on vinyl so I can have it on wax. So I can't wait so that they can send it to me because they're in London. So yeah, that's probably it's became one of my favorite pieces because it's just so intense. It's like so intense. I was like kind of like, wow, did I really do that? Like, how did I come up with such intensity? But they really really like it. So it was really a cool experience. Because I because I'm kind of a music fan in general, like all genres of music. So if I'm able to like contribute in any way, whether it's album covers. I have also done a concert poster when I was living in New Orleans some time ago. That was really a cool experience. I had to see my art like on the venue and stuff. And yeah, so that's really something that's really cool. It's more like, you know, little passion projects here and there. So yeah, I'd like to do more of that eventually.
What was the band called that you did the album art for?
They're called Monsters Attack.
Monsters Attack. Awesome.
Yeah, so they're very like, they're going a lot into their concept of like, you know, let's make something about the Godzillas and you know, things like that. So I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. That's fun to draw.
Right. Thanks, Pierre.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna pass the mic back over to Charlie. We can hear another song, and then we'll have one more artist to introduce to you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Pierre.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pierre. Back to me.
Back to you.
Back to me. Okay, so I have one more song for y'all. I feel like this song, to be honest with you, is just appropriate considering the times right now. I play this song every single set because I wrote this song for my mom initially, and it has a life of its own at this point. So, yeah, we're just gonna play it, and if you know it, then sing along. This is my song, y'all.
Hello. Hello to my mother, my sister, and my brother, and my candy with the ganja. Hello. Hello to the old me, I'm fucking with the new me. You the reason I can be. Hello. What's up with the homies? Love you to the end. Big buzz for life. See, hello. Nothing changed, but everything shining like a wedding ring. They the reason I can sing. See, we're living in a lonely world, and ain't much seem like it's gonna change. One thing that's for sure is no, I ain't gonna love in vain. See, we're living in a lonely world, and ain't much seem like it's gonna change. One thing that's for sure is no, I ain't gonna love in vain. Have you ever met a beam brighter than the sun? Set a tree, set a type to spin the 5 and make it back 5 times. Cream, killer, cash builder, that's my mama, that's my main hitter. Natural sister used to whoop my ass and cook me dinner. I don't know nobody who could clear a room with just a look. DNA shook, full of spice and books. Raised to read crooks, never shook. Take a look for your unhooked baby girl, he a bumble. By hook or crook, we'll be dancing in my checkbook. Hey. Hello to my mother, my sister, and my brother, and my candy with the ganja. Hello. Hello to the old me, I'm fucking with the new me. You the reason I could be. Hello. What's up with the homies? Love you to the end. Big buzz for life. See, hello. Nothing changed, but everything shining like a wedding ring. They the reason I can sing. See, we're living in a lonely world, and ain't much seem like it's gonna change. One thing that's for sure is no, I ain't gonna love in vain. See, we're living in a lonely world, and ain't much seem like it's gonna change. One thing that's for sure is no, I ain't gonna love in vain. Hey. Oh, that's my song. Oh man, that is my song. That is my song. Thank you so much for listening to me, y'all. My parents are in the corner. Like,
Woo!
That's my song too.
Woo-hoo. That was good. That was dope.
Such
Girl,
a good
that's
song.
my
I haven't
song
sang
too,
that
yo.
song since. You said what?
That's my song too.
That I know. I was looking at you every time. I always look at you. I haven't sang that song since Corona started, to be real.
Wow.
But it hits a little differently now, so I do appreciate that.
What real quick before we give Brianne a second, what do you like, how does it hit a little bit different now? I know that song means a lot to you, so like what's different about it now versus before?
Well, when I wrote it initially, it was like December, I think, of 2018. And so I was just reflecting on my year and thinking about what I was grateful for. And that was pretty much it. It was just like the people in my life, my family, the ways in which I've grown, just thankful for the old me, because I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for her. But now it just feels like you don't really know what's next. And so you got to cherish people while they're here. And so it's just a reminder for me to be in real time. I feel like quarantine has forced me to put my phone down a lot more, talk to people that I kind of taken for granted in a way. So it's just a reminder of what's important and how this material world is just so fleeting. All that matters is us. So yeah, it's a good reminder for me.
Cool. So you did say this was your last song. So I wonder, you want to do your Q&A now? We can let people ask you questions because you get one of those too.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I could play another song if you guys want me to, but I did have like 3 together. I'm down for Q&A also.
Let's do Q&A and then we'll let Brianne do Q&A, and then if everybody wants an encore, we could do an encore after that. Okay. So viewers, what questions do you have for Ms. Charlie Cash?
What was the name of that last song?
It's called Hello.
Hello.
And
it's actually, so sneak peek how many people, there's 19 people on this, plus these 4. I'm putting out a project, this is a secret. I'm putting out a project this year, and that song may or may not be in the project. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of work with that song. It's called Hello.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I agree. It was very beautiful. It was actually really touching because of like what we're going through, like, you know, just saying hello to your fam and shit, you know?
Yeah, I liked that it hit different. I mean, you never really know how the art you create is gonna last.
Yeah, which is why you probably should have it on your project, because everyone's gonna listen to it and be like, yo, I resonate.
Yeah, it's funny because the people that I did this little thing on my Instagram recently, and I sent a little sneak peek of the song to a couple people, and they're like, did you write this because of Corona? And I was like, no, this is just this song's got life. This is a life of its own at this point. Like, it's out of my hands. So I'm happy that it's meaningful for people other than just me also.
What other questions do we have for Charlie Cash?
What's your SoundCloud?
My SoundCloud is just Charlie Cash. Let me find the URL specifically. If you search Charlie Cash in what? Huh?
I was saying that you are on Spotify and Apple Music too.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you search Charlie Cash on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, you'll see the same photo. I have this orange shirt on and I look super dramatic. I'm like,
I'm gonna find you. I want to cruise around with my top down and listen to your tunes.
Yes, that would be great. This is the picture that you'll see on all of my socials. So that's my Spotify situation. And then I'll pull up the SoundCloud just so you guys can get a real time little situation. My SoundCloud, you may have to search Lil Charlie. I believe that's actually what is on there.
Lil Charlie, got it.
Yeah, Lil Charlie, LIL, and then you'll see the photo.
It's also our beloved DJ just dropped it in the comments.
I just saw it.
Oh, fire! Plug. Thank you.
DJ
Oh yeah, perfect. Oh, Charlie Cash Music. Duh, I don't know why I didn't.
Good looking out, Mo. Thank you.
The plug. Thank you.
Perfect, man.
Also, just shameless promotion. You can find me on Instagram. Also, Charlie Cash, 2 S's. That's my main source of communication. So just real-time updates on music and drops and lives and all that will pretty much be on my Instagram for the most part. I'm redoing my website right now, so there will be a relaunch pretty soon.
Woo!
But that's a TBD.
So website's coming soon. Follow Charlie Cash on Instagram. Follow Trew Love. Follow Pierre Roset. Follow Hot Aristocrat. Follow
Yes.
DJ Famous. And to close us out, unless we end up deciding that we want to do an encore. But
Follow your girl Sylv and Miss Michelle Mahai also.
yeah, hey, and Art Parlour Official and Abby too. I don't know what her handle is though. And Pixel Tony. So Brianne, it's your turn. It's your Q&A.
Yo,
How are
can
you?
everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Cool, Well, I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to start.
Well, what's your name?
Okay, well, my born name is Brianne Goree. My handle is Hot Aristocrat. Which is so funny because I only started Hot Aristocrat like in 2010 and I just never changed my handle. Like it has nothing to do with my art at all. But the more I grew into it, I was like, this is just me. Like I'm a hot aristocrat. Like I'm somebody that has like, I'm super into fashion already as much as it is. So I just kind of stuck with the name. But yeah, my born name is Brianne, not Brianna. There's no A at the end. A lot of people get that a little confused. So you can just call me Bri. That's cool too. Born and raised here in Seattle. I don't know what else. I'm a collage artist. Sorry, what?
What kind of art do you do?
Oh, we were thinking alike. So I am focused on collage art, which is all paper. I do a lot of hand cut. I will mess with digital every once in a while, which is where I use Photoshop. And I'll search on Google and I'll be like, I need a dolphin and a church and whatever, mountains, and then bam, and I'll put it through Photoshop and kind of like layer it up. Or I'll do mixed media where I'll do hand cuts, scan them to the digital, and then kind of play with it on Photoshop. But my main thing was what I like to do is just hand cuts. So but like a ton of magazines throughout the years, and I just kind of kept up with it. Like it started off in like high school where I just got really into it and it just bloomed from there. I was definitely like that high school girl that was just like in all the teen Vogues and like cutting up all like Rihanna and Beyonce, like we talked about. I was obsessed with everybody, especially Rihanna back in the day. But anyways, long story short, I just got obsessed with cutting things and ripping things up. I don't know, something about cutting and ripping paper is just like, it's zen for me.
It's like you do go through the cutting and ripping it up, which is kind of like a destructive process, but then you alchemize it and put it all together. And it's exactly process comes right out of the destructive process, like that life cycle.
Exactly. And it's like, it's a mix. So like, I'll have very literal images and then I'll have very abstract images where there's like, sometimes I'll use faces and I'm obsessed with eyes and hands. So sometimes in a lot of my pieces, you'll see eyes or like hands or something. I don't know why, but I love the hands, phalanges. So like, there's a lot of that in some of my pieces. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll just use color or I'll really go abstract with it and use, like, I'll rip up things and just use like the texture of it. So like that ripped paper effect, I love that. I don't like to always have straight edge cutting. I like things look a little bit raw, a little bit unfinished, a little unhinged, because that's just who I am. My art definitely will reflect who I am as a person. And just kind of like life in general, like life is a collage. You kind of just put things together and make it yours. So,
yeah. Agree.
Yeah. Right.
So, close by that you can show us? Like,
yes, I do. Actually, I do have a couple here. So, a lot of my pieces, like, let's see, here's one. So I did this one the other night. I'll be like up at 3 in the morning doing pieces. And so, I mean, it's a little backwards right now because I'm on the face part, but it says sealed in time. And obviously like stuff like this is where I want people to think about things themselves and what they see and what they think about. You know, like there's no real meaning behind the frog and this. To me, it was just like the shapes and like the squiggles that kind of just all aligned. And so placement is huge for me. So like I'll get like a lot of pieces and I won't glue them down until like I'm like, okay, this looks good together. And here's another one. So here's one that's very minimal. I like to do minimal sometimes where there's like a lot of white space. sometimes I'll cover up the whole page, but sometimes I just like to go very like abstract. And I like to create pieces, not just for like color and texture, but something that you would never know. Like it's hard to see, but I was like, this piece right here was literally salmon and salt. Like to me, it looked like space. So, you know, it's kind of hard for, I think, the viewers to see. But
Made it look like space in this collage. I had
right?
no idea salmon and salt. I thought it was space.
Exactly. So like there's small things where you cut off little corner pieces and you're just like, oh, that used to be this, but I turned it into that. So like I'm very huge on like just taking something, ripping it up and turning it into the complete opposite of what it was.
That's awesome.
Another
Well,
one with like color is like
yes.
this one. Like there's no real meaning behind it, but like sometimes it's just the color that speaks to you. And I like to make pieces that could go on the wall perhaps, or just, you know, just like something cool to look at. And then I have like one more here. Hopefully it doesn't shine. I actually have two more. Okay, so this one I did last night. It was so funny. You won't be able to read it too much. I like to do analog collages as well.
Love that.
If you can read it, if you know, you know. But sometimes I like to just like make myself do a piece of art just so I can have something to do. I already like to read, I garden, like I make smoothies, I like to cook. So sometimes I just need something to do. So, okay, and the last one, I make a lot of framed pieces. So it's a little reflective here. I don't think you can really see it too much.
That's gorgeous.
Very cool.
And like this one, a lot of people were like, oh, I saw this and I saw this. I don't think you can really see it with all that dang reflection. There's so much light and reflection. But yeah, I just like hearing people. To me, my art is all about inspiring others. Like, of course, I love to do it. And the fact that I can sell it, it's even better. But it all started just to like something to do for myself. And then I realized, you know, everyone just likes to collage. It's something that people can really get into. And so I started doing events for it where I'll just bring everything to everybody. And thank you, Shantae. And I just really like to like have people be included and be able to make their own stuff, interpret their own life on paper. So to me, it's all about inspiring others, letting other people see things for how they want to see it. It's my art, I'd like to say, is very similar to like ink blots. So like, you know, your therapist will show you an ink blot and be like, what do you see? I would love for people to like analyze my stuff and be like, oh my gosh, I see this and this. Like, it's just that stuff I love. I love when people like view my art and it's like, oh, I saw this. And I'm like, oh, what? I didn't even think about that. So, you know, I do it for you guys.
That's awesome. So, speaking of you guys, which ones of you have questions for Brianne?
Shoot it from the hip, baby.
I do have one.
Me have a question.
Okay.
I do have one, yeah. Yeah, Brian. What I think is really cool with collage, it's, you know, when you have two elements that you never thought would go together, and when they go together, it's just like something happens. It's like, what's going on? It's like you couldn't even think of it ahead of time because it's just so, an association that's so strange. Do you think ahead of time, like what do you want to collage together? Or do sometimes you have only maybe one element and you kind of just browse and figure out, okay, how do I respond emotionally if I put this next to that? Or do you already have in your head, you know, what you want to collage together?
I think sometimes it's 50-50. It's hard for me as a paper cut collage artist, where if I have an image in my head, so I think a lot of artists will be like, oh, I have something stuck in my head, I have to draw it or I have to paint it. And they could put that down on paper because they have the tools to, with basically their mind and their hand, to write it down. Whereas me, I'm limited on magazines. So if I were to come up with a concept, like let's say a cow jumping over the moon with a background of Saturn, I have to find those images and I have to search through like tons of magazines, which can be fun, but it's also very tedious. So I don't tend to have an image in my mind or a story before putting things on paper. It usually comes in afterwards. So like, I think if I do digital collage, like stuff where it's like online, where I can go to Google and I'm like, hey, I want a cow jumping over the moon with Saturn, I can type in cow, moon, Saturn, and all those images will pop up and I'll be able to have exactly what I was thinking or imagining. Whereas hand cut collage, it's whatever I have, I gotta make it work. So if I don't have Saturn or mountains, sometimes I'll just like cut something out in the shape of a mountain, you know, to make it look like a mountain, the shape of a mountain, but like the background of it won't be the mountain. It's hard to do that exactly. So sometimes I'll have like an image in my head of what I want to put on paper, but almost 90% of the time it never comes out how I want it because I get so frustrated. I have like 1,000 magazines and to be able to have to go through all of those would take like 3 days. So
Actually, I think
definitely not.
it's exciting when well actually you don't have too much on hand because you kind of use your limitations and it kind of forces you to think out of the box and to use what you have on hand. And sometimes, often the results are even more exciting because you kind of just go with the flow. If you start looking for stuff online, you're just in an endless loop of like you get a million possibilities, so you can get stuck.
It really is. It really is just like that. And it's also very nostalgic because just flipping through magazines, and it's like time, it's like jumping through time because we forget that we used to get a lot of our information through magazines and like newspapers and stuff where everything's online now. So I get a lot of my like old information from like National Geographic from like the 60s. I've got like fashion magazines from the 60s. So it's like jumping through time to like see the politics and what they were wearing or like certain models, how they were acting. So it's like a mix of kind of just doing something, like flipping through the pages as well as like creating at the same time. So it's fun for sure.
Very cool. Thanks, Bree. Does anyone, I'm gonna give it up to one more person as a question.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so Bree, I know you said that you capture the narrative based on how we are viewing it, but I was looking through your Instagram and I love every single little thing, but is there ever a time or are there certain pieces where you are actually telling a story from your eyes, right? Because I know you said there's so much, you know, so many magazines that you have to flip through that you really don't know what to say. It just speaks to you. But are there certain pieces in your Instagram where you're like, this is actually my story?
I would say not necessarily like personally like Brianne's story, but I definitely will see like there's a few pieces. Like the first one that comes to mind, which is very popular, if you like scroll down, it's like a long ways down. It's like, I call it the Faces of the Mountain, where it's got like faces of every woman of color. And to me, it was just like, sometimes I like look at it and I'm just like, we are, my quote for that was like, do we look like, do we resemble?
Oh, sorry.
Someone's digging. But yeah, no, there's definitely a few pieces where I feel that a story for sure can get told. The story doesn't come to me until after I stare at it. So like the Faces of the Mountain, where it's got like 3 different colors of Black woman and then 1 white woman that matched the colors of the mountains, like their skin tone. It just really represented like that we're equal and that we're all from the same planet. We're all human. We just all have our own richness and skin. So sometimes there are deep stories that come with it. So yeah, I would say like a lot of it sometimes really is just like me throwing things on there and it's ink blot style of like, oh, what do I see after creating it? But there are some significant pieces, and I can't think off the top of my head. I'd have to like scroll or something on my Instagram, but there's definitely a few out there that are just very detail oriented that I spent a little bit more time on just so people could get the clear view of like what I meant.
And this is the piece that she was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So like it was very interesting. Like at the very top, there's a woman who's like light skinned and kind of like red bone. So like there's a red undertone. So that really matches like a lot of like canyon type mountains. And then you've got like the white girl who's like kind of blue undertones. It's very pale. So like snowy mountains. Then you've got like this like obsidian black skin that like really rich, which made me think of like rich soil, rich trees. And so I kind of like leveled them in no real order, just so people can see like the difference in textures of skin tone. and that we're all human. We all came from the same planet. Like if aliens landed to our planet right now, like we would have to become one. Like we would be the one human species against the aliens. So like, you know.
Love it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely one of the pieces that everyone captures a lot of people's eyes because they're just like blown away by like how much the skin tone can match our earth. And I really do believe that, like, I think someone told me, super random, but like squirrels, they kind of change color on their zone. So like in Western Washington, they're more black because they have deeper, rich, like black soil over there. But like in Seattle-ish area, a lot more of the squirrels or rats or whatever are more light brown because our soil's light brown. Like I heard that somewhere, but it kind of like made me think about like, oh my gosh, so our soil kind of like, I don't know, connects us.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm a hippie. I'm very into like loving the earth. All my analogs are like about earth. Like a lot of my pieces have like, I was saying I'm obsessed with like eyes and hands, but like I'm also very obsessed with like anything foliage. So like landscape stuff. I love flowers to put in my collages. I love putting mountains as a background. My biggest is space. I love space. So I love putting that in there somewhere.
Awesome.
Oh, God damn it. There must be something up with that microphone.
All right. Well, thank you, Bree. I think if people are into it, I think there were a few people in the comments here saying, Charlie, they would love to hear from you one more time. I don't know. Can we get a round? Can we get a round for Charlie? Maybe?
Charlie!
Yes, let's do it.
All right.
If you guys are down, I'm down.
Yes.
Let's do one more from Charlie, and then we can let Mo close it out.
Yeah.
Yes, Queen. Hey, Shantae.
Joining us.
My favorite time of the day.
Yes, Queen. Okay, I'm gonna play. Let's see. First song that I see. Okay. So I'll give you a little background, I guess, about this song. Fun fact: I'm really big on procrastination. Not a really good trait of mine. But somebody asked me to record this song over their beat, and I listened to the beat, and it just took me a minute to get connected to it. And honestly, I didn't write it until the day before I was supposed to go record, so I was really nervous about it. But it came out. So that's the story. I wrote this at like 3 o'clock one night. Ugh.
It's a cry. Pick my mind and all time. Never thought to fall back till you said tribes call me San Diego. How I'm peeping that I don't need that, so I dodge. You cannot catch me up, cat and mouse. I'm a loner, baby. I expect you to bounce. Cut out, call me when you round. You the type of fella only flutter when you want some. When you want some, do you want some? Yeah. Hey, all the time, let go. You know you tease me, baby. Wasting my time, you crazy. You know better than that. You gon' have to chase me right back. Catch up, I can see through that. Weak slack, too cute to play yourself like that. Step back, step back, step back. He call me Khaleesi cause he wanna peep that. Hollywood on my loud pack, slick back, roll up real proper backwoods, puff that, puff that, puff that. I'm the finest wine, sip that. Higher space and time cause I wanna have that. But for now I got my trees, puff that, puff that, puff that. Do you wanna puff that? Yeah, it's a crime. Pick my mind, go all the time, go all night. It's a crime, it's a crime, it's a crime. But I'll be alright. Da, 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 da. Ooh.
Damn, girl.
That is my y'all.
Damn, your voice is popping.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for appreciating my music and inviting me on this, my first Zoom call, first visual ever. That's lit. Appreciate you all for being here.
Your music is awesome.
It's very awesome.
Nice to meet you also. All those that I just met today.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to this project now. Like,
honestly, I am too. It's been such an interesting process, just with everything changing. Like, I decided at the beginning of the year that I was gonna put out my first project, and then COVID hit, and I'm a nanny, so like that happened. And it's taken a lot for me to decide to keep going, and keep pushing forward with this project. I'm like a huge perfectionist, so to a fault. So this process, I think, of creation for me right now is really just letting go and letting things fall into place, and putting it out. So that's where I'm at. I'm happy. I'm excited. When it's out, I'm gonna just put my hands up and be like, I'm done.
God's hand.
That's it. So yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Charlie, and thank you for all the artists that came and joined us today. This was honestly, it was so great hearing from everybody, and appreciate everybody that joined us on the Zoom as well to participate.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I came in a little late, fashionably late, but I'm here. I made it. I'm glad I got to see some songs being played. It was dope. It was really great. My first Zoom party. Like, I've been on Zoom, but Zoom party, okay? Whoop, whoop.
It was also really dope to just hear some background from artists of different mediums for me. So I appreciate that as well.
Yes, Pierre, I'm looking forward to more of your stuff. I'm so excited. Like, I'm not like a huge comic person, but your stuff looks like amazing. Like, anyone who does comics, I really feel like have a talent, because like you guys are so detail oriented. So I'm excited for you and your future endeavors.
Thanks.
Yeah, so artist Akuna over here in the comments is asking for everyone to drop their social media handles. So go in the chat over here and make sure that you put your information where everybody can find you. That way all of our viewers can find you guys after this.
I'll also say too, viewers, if you really liked the show that was put on, the Cash App and Venmo information is on one of the squares, and we're gonna put that money back toward the artists, so we can tip them and thank them for their participation. So just so you know.